So thank you all for joining in today. Today is our episode number 48, and this is free Intune training provided by How to Manage Devices community. And yesterday we have seen some WIP or Windows information related policy creation, the default policy creation, and how to create policies without any advanced settings, etc. We have seen in Intune portal, right? And this is the settings which we did yesterday. Basically, WIP is nothing but a Intune app protection policy, right? This WIP is part of Windows 10 operating system. As I mentioned, this is one of the features of Windows 10 operating system. This is kind of a that accidental data leakage solution, as I mentioned yesterday, right? So let's get into that. What has happened at the end user mission, right? So we deployed this to the company devices over here, as you can see over here, right? So it is only deployed to the Azure AD joint device. So this is one of my Azure AD joint device. Okay. And this is yesterday 8:30, right? So this is when the policy started coming down. So this is a EDP is the previous name of Windows Information Protection, or WIP, right? When they released Windows Information Protection initially into Windows 10, and then it was known as EDP, Enterprise Data Protection, right? That was the solution before. Now they renamed it to Windows Information Protection, right? Okay, so let's go through the event logs first, right? So this is again, all these policies are applied to our famous CSPs. You remember the CSPs, right? Windows 10 MDM CSPs. And this is the same way this policy is also deployed. But we don't need to find out OMA URI, or we don't need to find out string values for these policies, because this is coming us out of box. Intune is doing all the hard work to find out which is the best policy and which is the OMA URI which you need to use, right? Um, so all those things are automatically created by Intune itself. You don't need to do it manually, right? You know how painful it is when you need to find out a OMA URI and string value and area details of each individual configuration, right? So we have seen that in our custom configuration profile policy episodes, right? So this is out of box configuration. That is why it is already kind of configured. As you can see, we have not configured these network domain names, etc., right? But you can see some configurations over here. Let me go to that directly, right? Rather than each advanced settings over here, right? What is happening here is, now initially when we started here, right, it is starting with data protection, right? Data protection is nothing but this. Okay, data protection. Come on, let me minimize the. Okay, let me minimize the Azure AD joined one. Give me a sec. Sorry about this. Okay, so data protection is the first level of configuration which we did yesterday, right? This is the one, right? We selected the application first. We selected the 6 applications, and then we set some required policies, right? The data protection is one of them, right? This is the one. After that, what is going to happen is, it is event logs will show us all these policies, right? So this is network parameters, network boundaries, right? Corporate identity also we will see, right? And all these configurations we will see there. All these are blank values now, because we have not configured this. As you remember yesterday, we have not configured anything over there, right? We wanted to test with the basic policy. Okay, so that is why if I go back over here, and if I can, okay, this is good, right? No. So if I can go back here, you would be able to see all these policies, right? Enterprise protection, domain name, and you can see the domain name which we specified over there, right? That is how to manage devices dot on microsoft.com, right? So that policy got applied. Then if you go up, you would be able to see the proxy server settings it is asking, and proxy server setting is here, and you can see log mark over here, right? You remember what is this log mark, log symbol? So this is WIP, right? So RDP is enabled. RDP application is enabled for WIP. That is why I can see this log mark, right, on this. Okay, so my RDP connection is kind of encrypted now. Okay, so let me push this back and let me show you the enterprise proxy settings, right? Enterprise proxy settings, right? See, this is the one, enterprise proxy server list, right? So this is the proxy settings one, and you would see the IP range also over here, right? IP range settings also over here in the event log. So this is the same like another all the other troubleshooting which we do in Intune, right? Nothing different over here, right? Yeah, enterprise proxy server is coming up again, right? And IP range, as I mentioned, IP range is coming up here. Policy, that is area is network isolation, right? So you remember the area thing, right, which we configured in Windows 10 MDM, right? And allow index encryption stored items. This is the search. Okay, so search option, you remember we have enabled, and icon we have enabled somewhere, right? This is a show icon, right? So this is why this icon is coming, this lock symbol, right? If we have not enabled the icon from Intune policies here, right? Where is it exactly? Show the enterprise data protection icon. So this is on, right? So that is why the icon is shown over there, and you would be able to see, you are able to see that in event logs also, right? So this is very kind of useful process which we are kind of going through to understand what is happening in the background, right? Now the other important thing is the important event log you need to kind of remember when you deploy WIP policies is like this one, right? And protection dependency check results, dependency name, EDP policy. EDP policy is nothing but WIP policy, as I mentioned before, and the current state is EDP is off. Okay, it says EDP is off, and let's see whether it is getting changed, right? Now also the EDP is off. Okay, as you can see end state, and above you would be able to see EDP is on or something like that. So now is also EDP is off. Let me see, EDP is off, EDP is off, EDP to show icon. But over here you can see Windows information protection. Oh, okay. Went up. I am having some difficulties with the connection, as you can see over here. Okay, so yeah, let's come back to this particular event log. This is important one, right? 1650 is the event log, right? Probably you can note down this, and probably that would be helpful for your future troubleshooting if you are doing some troubleshooting with WIP policies, etc. Right? Here it says EDP is on. It was previous state was off, now EDP is on, and it says operation completed successfully, right? So this is one of the important log which you need to look into and remember, right? So all these policies are getting applied again, right? All these things are in data protection, network policies, as you can see over here, network isolation, right? All these policies are coming down, and yeah. So that is the things I just wanted to highlight in terms of event logs and WIP, right? And now let's go into our next part, right? We always check about the registry entries related to the policies, right? So over here, as I don't know, you remember how we search for the registry entries, right? So basically, what I did is, if I see some of the event logs, you would be able to see a policy manager notification here. Policy manager is handling this. Policy manager is handling that. So that is why I directly went into the Microsoft Policy Manager path over here, right? And my software, Microsoft Policy Manager, then providers, right? Within the providers, as I mentioned before, this is our enrollment ID, right? For this particular device, and this will be different for each the individual device, right? Or each individual user, probably in a multi user scenario. But yeah, that's a different story altogether. Okay. So default device, and if I go to devices, you would be able to see something new, some new things, right? One is data protection. Data protection is nothing but WIP, right? And over here you would be able to see EDP enforcement level, right? So this is the block thing which we are talking about, right? So we have seen 3 or 4 options over here, right? If I remember correctly, I don't know whether you remember it or not, but there was 4 options over here, right? One is block, the second is allow override, third is silent, and we selected the block one, right? Okay, so that is this settings. And show icon is already there. Show icon, right? Enterprise protected domain name. So we are our domain name UPN is already there. So this is the registry entry which you can check if you have any problem with the VIP or WIP um, configuration, policy configurations, right? So hopefully this is useful for you in future, right? Okay, so the next one is basically network isolation, right? So network isolation, from my perspective, this is that advanced settings, right? Over here, we have seen we have seen advanced settings, right? Where is it? This one, right? All these are advanced settings, right? Network parameter, network boundary. All these are network isolation, advanced setting. It comes under advanced settings, right? And that was not mandatory. That is why we left it like that yesterday. And so in the network setting, most of the values are blank, right? As you can see, enterprise cloud resource, we have not created any cloud resource, right? And enterprise proxy, we have not selected any proxy. That is why it is coming as blank. IP range, we have not selected anything over there, right? And that is why it is coming as blank. So no values there. I'm trying to find out whether there is any value. No, I don't. I can't see any value over there, right? So the only other option, other one thing popped up over here is search, right? Search is the option which we enabled, and we enabled the search option for the encrypted files. So even the file is WIP enabled, we will be able to search that file, right? That is the configuration somewhere here. This is the one, right? Allow Windows search in the indexers to search encrypted items, right? So that is what this particular registry entry is. So hopefully this is helpful for you, and probably you would be able to troubleshoot better with all these registry entries and all. Okay, when you have a WIP related issue. Okay, so that was the event logs and registry. Now let's check the actual thing, right? So Now yesterday when we checked it, the icon was not here and we were able to copy paste etc, right? There was no restriction, right? So let me close this down and let me close this also. Okay, and I don't know what is this. Okay, let me keep this open. Okay, so let's open a new notepad and let's try to do a save, right? So save, when I do save, there's something different over here, right? File name, there's an icon over here, right? Say when I save it, and this is kind of a different log symbol, and if I drop down, there is one work, and with my domain name UPN, right? So that is work account, and this is personal account, right? So let me show you one example over here, right? So this is Azure AD join device. Now let me log into Azure Azure AD registered device. This is the other device. I'm not expecting um, policies over here. Okay, we have not deployed the policy EDP policy or WIP policy to this particular BYO scenario machines, right? Notepad, let me open up and try to save it, right? So see the difference? There is no log symbol over here, right? When you save the file, there's no log symbol. This is the default behavior of Windows 10, right? And if you check the enterprise, if you go to task manager and check the details tab over here, and if you try to give me a sec, if you try to add a new column, yesterday I talked about the enterprise context tab, right? Something similar to that. I don't remember the exact name. Yeah, enterprise context, right? So if you enable the enterprise context tab, add the enterprise context tab or column over here, you would be able to see not applicable, right? Not applicable because we have not enabled the VIP of why I'm saying VIP WIP policies. Okay, so we have not enabled that. That is why the enterprise context tab is NA, right? So this is Azure AD registered device where we have not deployed the policies. Okay, so now let's go back to our Azure AD join device, and you can see a symbol over here and it says work. So if I select work, right, for example, if I say WIP test, right, I will say WIP test and I will save it. Now I saved this in a as a work file, right? That is why the symbol came in, right? Now if I compare this with the other file which I have, okay, so there is no symbol, right? So there is no symbol over here, and this is at the moment in personal context, this file is, okay. So if I try to type something, right, let's try copy paste, copy from enterprise context, right, context to personal. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this particular entry in the work profile. So this is the work context, we notepad, and this is the personal one. So if I copy it, then all the data in this particular file will become enterprise automatically, right? So I don't want to do that. Before that, I want to save this in a now you can see the WIP test file which we created over here has a symbol over here, right? So that is a log symbol again, and it says ownership is with my domain. Okay, so that means this is encrypted file now, and this is only for the enterprise use or work use, not the personal one. So let me save this file, the other one, personal. I will say personal Google, right? And I will save. Okay, now I saved it. And now if I try to again copy this and try to copy over here, right? If I can copy paste, see, cannot use work content here. Your organization does not allow you to use work content here, right? So that is a message you will get when you try to accidentally copy the content of your work file to your personal file. So this is the whole idea of Windows information protection or accidental data leakage, right? So this can be done with all the other applications also. If this is Notepad, is, as I mentioned, Notepad is a WIP enlightened application. We can use Notepad in both the scenarios, personal context as well as work context, right? There would be some application if you are using some third party application, if that application is not WIP enlightened, then you won't be able to use it for both the purposes, right? All the LOB applications are mostly only for the enterprise work, right? So you don't need to worry about that. But company portal is one other application, right? We have added company portal also over here. That is why we can see that symbol now, right, in the company portal. Now let's try to do one more example, right? And let me try to do let me forward this mail and let me try to copy this mail content. This is my official mail, right? This is my work mail. As you can see, this is the same UPN or admin. This is why I created a Outlook email mailbox, so that this demo will be better, and you will understand the context, right? That is why I created Outlook, took the Microsoft 365 subscription and created a mailbox for this particular account, right? Now if I try to copy, my mistakenly I'm trying to copy this mail content and trying to paste it in somewhere in Google or something, right? Let's try that. Okay, google.com, I don't know, google.com, right? So if I try to do that, right, so that is working. Okay, I don't know why. let me try to do the testing again over here in the personal context of Notepad. Google is bit tricky now. Okay, so okay. So the Outlook, we have, I think we don't have that policy yet. That is why it is allowing me to copy. See, it is allowing me to copy it, right? Outlook, I think we have not enabled it. Let me try to close the Outlook and start it again, right? Where is Outlook? Out. Okay, and we need to check whether we included Office 365 application into this or not, right? So let's forward this also and try to copy it as your identity, and try to copy it to the personal one first. Okay. Okay. Now after the restart, it seems to work. Okay. It says cannot use work content, right? So the restart was required. Let me try to do try the um, Google example again. Before that, I just wanted to try once more. over here. So it says, oh, I cannot copy that. This is a personal file, right? So let's copy this to the work file over here. Work file without any issue. It copied, right? So work to work copy paste, all everything is kind of allowed. So there is no data leakage because it's going into the same context, right? So now let's try to do a Google stuff, right? See what is it coming? Your organization does not allow you to use work content with this application, right? So even it is doing some copy paste, but the content is different, right? So you are kind of it is kind of deceiving you. I don't know if deceiving is a correct word or not, but uh, so so that is the example over here which I wanted to show you, right? now now this is what the context of Windows information protection. As you can see, the symbol over here, and if you go to properties of this one, right, and where is it, details, you would be able to see attributes change and all the other details. Let me go to that particular folder, right, and open the file location, and now let me open up this, and you can see the entire uh this thing is there, right? The domain name, UPN name, everything is there. And if I try to open this in Notepad plus plus, probably it might not open, right? So it's a cannot open this file because Notepad plus plus is not WIP enlightened application, and we have not enabled any policy to open the enterprise work from Notepad plus plus, right? So Notepad plus plus is kind of a untrusted entity or application at the moment, right? So that is why you won't be able to open these things in Notepad, right? Let's try WordPad, right? So WordPad also same. WordPad is also not the enterprise WIP enlightened application, right? So that is why we won't be able to open up stuff in enterprise data in these kind of application. So WIP enlightened applications are very important here. Otherwise, you have seen an option over here yesterday, like exempt some application, right? So if you click on this and if you add some exemption of application, probably that will do the trick. Okay, then there is a, as you know, there is a risk of high risk of data leakage, accidental data leakage for those particular applications. So the recommendation is to try to get an enlightened version of application if that is possible, right? Otherwise you need to exempt it, or you need to term it as enterprise only application. So if you term it as enterprise only application, you won't be able to use it for normal usage scenarios, right? Okay, so that is it. I think we already have, okay, we already reached our time. Do you have any questions for today? I don't know whether is this okay? Are you getting me?
Anup sir, have a doubt. Can we take
Yeah.
screenshots?
Yeah, that's fine. Perfectly fine. No
No, no,
issue.
no. I'm asking
Oh,
since
okay.
we over here. So does taking screenshot and copying paste allows? I don't think so. It should allow, right?
So screenshot, I think it's a tricky one, right? Uh, Screenshot is, I don't know, like is that a system? I think that is a system thing, right? So
Yes.
basically, that is a system thing. So probably taking photo and screenshot is always a tricky thing in terms of data leakage, right? So basically, this is important stuff over here, right? So this is accidental data leakage, right? Taking screenshot is not accidental, it cannot be accidental, right? So probably it will allow you to take the screenshot, okay, to be
Okay.
honest. And
Okay. Because since we have configured our organization email on our phone, it doesn't let us to take screenshot if you
Yeah,
have experienced
yeah,
that. So I
yeah.
was just trying to interpret the same thing.
Yeah, I know that scenario, and even I think in AirWatch scenarios, most of the stuff, and in Intune also, right? For the mobile devices, I think we can disable the screenshot, etc., etc., right? All the enterprise applications, right? Even Skype or Teams, you can disable the a screenshot. I think the screenshot will come up, but it would be a blank screen or something like that, if I remember correctly. Okay, so that is there in the mobile versions, but I don't think that is there in the what do you call Windows 10 full version, desktop or laptop versions, I would say.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, we will continue the WIP discussions tomorrow. We will configure some network settings, and we will check what is happening over there, right? And we will see like how to decrypt these files also, probably in within these 2 days, right? Tomorrow and day after. Okay. So thank you all for joining in today, and we will speak. I will speak to you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you.